Once more unto the Yeet, dear friends. Hello, everyone. Bront, CatHerder here. We're having some fun talking Raid Shadow Legends, and we are here on the main account. We are going to be yeeting some shards because we have the Summon Rush going. Now, normally you would see my free-to-play video first, and the reason you are not going to see my free-to-play one first this weekend is because, well, I actually don't quite have enough Sacreds on the free-to-play yet. I will have one tonight, so probably Sunday, maybe Monday if I decide to wait just to see if Clan Boss is nice enough to give me 5 or 6 Sacreds. Why? Well, because this particular Summon Rush is pretty cool. So let's take a look at the Summon Rush quickly, and then let's get to the yeeting of the shards. So, as with all Summon Rushes, we have the point structure down here. It is 500 points for Sacreds, 300 for Primals, 120 for Voids, 20 for Ancients, and of course 1 for Mysteries. And it's actually pretty reasonable here. So we have 4 of them and, almost no mystery shards, so that's not a big deal, to get the 5 fragments you're going to need for Kroz. And if you can do 6 and like 200 mysteries, or 7, you can even get an Immortal Soulstone out of it. And that's really, really easy to deal with. This seems to have actually been the way that they have done these for the past couple of fragment fusions. It really does seem like the fragment fusions, they aim to make the Summon Rush very, very easy. And if you can get these 10 extra fragments, that's going to allow you to skip, for example, the Gear Hunters event that's going to happen in the middle of this event, where there's almost no actual dungeons to run during the event, which is honestly, I think, kind of scummy. So I'm looking forward to being able to skip an event or two. On my main, I don't have to skip any event. I've got plenty of gems. On my free-to-play, I would like to be able to skip an event, so I would really, really hope that in addition to getting all 4 of the cause without spending any mystery shards, if I'm close enough, I can spend some other shards to get the extra 10 to be able to avoid doing the extra Gear Hunters, which is then going to give me the extra energy I can use for something else on that account. So that is going to be good. And for your mileage may vary. Maybe you really don't have a lot of Sacreds, and so you're barely getting to the first one. That's fine. But I think that just for 2 to 3 extra Sacreds, it is well worth getting the extra 10 fragments on this event, because you need to get them from one of the 2 summoning events. So why not get them from the one where it's actually kind of cheaper? And if you can get them on both, which is usually not too difficult to do on a champion chase, particularly if you have other fragments going around, if you have other ways to get points, which we usually do for the champion chases, that champion chase should be very attainable as well. So it looks like the theme here is burning champions, and there's some bangers in here, and honestly, they're in the epics. Fat Man is an amazing, amazing epic. He's one of the best ally attackers in the game, let alone for an epic. The only thing he doesn't do is he doesn't attack himself, so it's only a 4-person ally attack, but it is I think it's every other attacker actually too. So we're just going to double check on that one here. It is all allies except for him, which is the best one you're going to get for an epic, which is really good. And the only thing you get better is everybody, including him, but that's fine. He's also got some poisons and burns. He's got decreased defense on the A1. He's got some extra survivability, although that can make everyone else a little squishier. Definitely a very good champion to have. I believe I've got one at +4 already, but you know what? That's fine. Maybe I'll have 2 of them at +4. Probably not the worst thing to have a second Farrakhan the Fat, depending on what type of account you've got running. And then as far as the legendaries are concerned, Artak is great if you don't have one. Cupidus is, he has not aged well. I love my Cupidus. I just do not use him anymore. He was really, really good for a brief time in Hydra and at other stuff. I use 2 Venuses still. Do not use my Cupidus much at all anymore. Very unfortunate, because I like the build I have on him. And then, Cecia, good if you need a burn igniter, but honestly, Artak is just as good and a lot tankier. She does do decreased defense and weaken, which can be very nice if you need some more of that. So, there's some goodness there, but she is super squishy. Walking Tombdrang has irresistible burns, very, very good champion. And the weakest burner is Herndig, who only does burn on, if you have low turn meter. But There's a long-standing desire for me to have Herndig on this account. I don't really need him anymore, and I haven't needed him for a while, but Herndig is really cool. He's a very good damage dealer. He's a very reliable PvE damage dealer. He can be useful for farming. Well, I guess he's one of the fastest Nightmare campaign farmers. He can be useful for things like Minotaur farming and stuff like that. He's good. He's got decreased defense, he's got weaken, he's got a lot of good utility. I suspect he will be usable in some of the Centrano stuff, although I don't necessarily know if he's going to be that much more usable than like a Trunda in that stuff, although I think versus wave content, he's a better champion than Trunda. He's just not as good as Trunda is as far as, well, you know, Hydra stuff is concerned. So I would like a Herndig. It's just kind of a sentimental thing at this point in time, but it's the only one I don't have. So we are going to go for him. As far as Mercy is concerned, I am 6 shards into Mercy. So if we're going to pull 7 of them, which is my plan, because I'm going to get that extra soul stone, well, I'm not going to be much into Mercy if I don't pull a legendary. And if I don't pull a legendary, that's fine. That also means, though, that if we have a 1+1 later on, I've got a bunch of sacreds here ready to go. So unfortunately, these are not necessarily free to play sacreds per se. They are, you know, stuff for content creator stuff for Polarium, which again, thank you for sponsoring this video. You guys are absolutely amazing. And, you know, it is what it is. So I just want to be honest with you guys. You know, I'm not spending a ton of money on this account, but Polarium gives me some nice perks occasionally as a content creator. And, you know, I'm going to be open about it. And they're being used on my main, not on the free to play. So, hey, and of course, you know how we do on this channel. We, not sponsored by Pepsi. That's a crime. Come on, Pepsi. Let's talk. But, we got our favorite drink here. We are ready to pull some shards. We're going to pull down to 9 sacreds. We've got 7 of these bad boys. Let's get something cool. Sanguinia, not too bad. She's more annoying than she is something that I think is the most usable, but she's got this one enemy attack that has a 100% chance of transferring all debuffs from this champion to the target and removes all debuffs from all allies. So she's got a cleanse that also does a transfer, and it's nice. It's a good cleanse. It's unfortunately a 4-turn cooldown that requires 7 epic books. So it's a very, very old school cleanse, but if you're desperate for a cleanse, you could do worse. Definitely a fun champion, but definitely not one I've spent a lot of time investing in on my account. Very situational, because for the most part, if you can get a normal cleanser on a 3-turn cooldown, you're in slightly better shape. The rest of her kit's okay. She brings block debuffs and continuous heals, but it's block debuffs for 1 turn on a 3-turn cooldown. Continuous heals are for 2 turns. That's not bad, but that's reactive healing as opposed to active healing. So sometimes if you can't keep people alive in the first place, these continuous heals don't heal them enough. And then she's got a 3-hitter on the A1. So, yep, she's okay. Not what we're looking for on the endgame account, though. Let's get something cool. Ooh, that is a Kaiden. I did not have this dude for a long time, needed a reviver for my Dark Elves. So now I have one built, and this will be, I think this will make him a +2. So that is kind of good. Let's get something else cool. That is an Excruciator. She is excruciatingly bad. Yeah, just not good. Extra damage under Veil, single target attack here, and a passive that puts Veil on her. No, thank you. Doesn't do a lot of damage either. Just not good. So let's get something cool, Polarium. Ooh, there's something cool. That is a Stag Knight. If Ian is not a +4, he will be after this. Stag Knight is absolutely amazing. Honestly, still one of the better epics in the game. Ages very, very well. He is super tanky. He does damage based on attack, but he actually does good damage with his multipliers, so that's good even if his attack is not particularly high. Gives you a ton of extra base speed, and he's got a decreased speed double hitter on the A1. Really good for any stage of Fire Knight, hard or normal. And then he has an AoE, decreased defense, and decreased attack. It is booked to 95%, so you need Sniper with him, but you're going to want Sniper for this anyway, because this is only a 50% chance, 55% chance. Now, it is each hit, which makes this very reliable, especially at 55% per hit, but it's still not 100%. But he also has this increased accuracy for an ally whenever they fail to when somebody resists a debuff, he'll throw increased accuracy on that champion that got resisted. It's only for 1 turn, but it's a nice little buff. Does not hurt at all to have on your account. Love this dude. Would love one on the free-to-play. That would be absolutely amazing. Get something cool. Enda Moonbeam, not cool. Less said about Enda, the better. And so this is going to be the only shard pull in Mercy. Relic Keeper, even the less said about him, the better. He is a fusion. He's a permanent fusion, so you could certainly save up epics and rares to fuse him if you wanted to. I like the Broadmaw fusion a little bit better just because, well, you know, you're saving a couple Void rares and you get an epic and it's worth a little more points than the Relic Keeper one. But, you know, it is what it is. So let's get something cool. And that is an Ice Bear. Ursine Ice Crusher. He was in the first battle pass that we had of some kind. Not a very good champion, just doesn't bring you anything that's useful in Modern Raid. So with that said, though, I am done with the Summon Rush on this account, which is great. Get a bunch of energy here, get a bunch of fragments, get all this cool stuff. And yeah, so that is what it is for a summoning video. There's not much to it. I didn't get anything particularly interesting for me, but I got a couple good champions at least. You know, hopefully they will be bonuses to some of these epics, and if not, well, you know, they'll make good chickens for some of the champion training I gotta do and, you know, other stuff like that. So, appreciate you guys hanging around. Hopefully your shard pulls went just a little bit better than mine did, but, you know, keep in mind, this is not a 2x, and honestly, you can have a really, really wide swing in Sacreds, because it is a 6% chance, which is just big enough for you to get really lucky and hit like 2 legendaries in 6 or 7 pulls, and to be as unlucky as I am and get absolutely nothing. So hopefully you got something absolutely amazing. Hopefully you're having some fun playing Raid Shadow Legends. Let me know down below, how are you doing in the fusion? Do you appreciate the Polarium did not charge us too much for this Summon Rush? Has that changed your mind of whether or not you're going to be doing the fusion or not? Let me know down below. I do appreciate it. Hopefully you got something cool, as I mentioned. You know, let me know down below. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. You guys are absolutely amazing. Some of the best people in Raid Shadow Legends and one of the best communities I found on the internet. And I really do mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys very much. Much love. Have a great day, and until the next video, I am Bront, CatHerder.